Hello everybody, my name's Chris Ward and I'm one of the product managers for the Control Product business. And in this example, I intend to demonstrate how to program the 3RW55. So there's multiple ways in which you can do that. So I'm just going to give you a basic setup about how it can be achieved. It's really quick and it's really easy to be able to do. So we'll start by creating a project. We'll call it 3RW55 config. Once we've done that, we can then press create. Once the project's finished creating, there's a couple of different ways in which you can create a motor starter or the soft starter. You can either go straight into the project view, which is down here, or you can configure a device up here. We'll go into the project view, and once that's finished loading, as you can see down this left hand side here, you've got add new device. And that's the title of the project. We want to add a new device in here. So if we double click on that, it'll then come up with the various different options we've got for the control devices, drives and starters, serious motor starters and soft starts, 3RW5s. So we've got a 3RW55. We'll say it's the 13 amp version. And we have to ensure that the firmware marries up as well. That's really important. And then press OK. Once you've done that, you'll then get a device coming down this side showing your selection which you've just created. That's once you've finished this sub-menu here, so it automatically prompts us for a device wizard. In this area, you've just got to decide whether you've got a communication protocol. For this example, we'll say no that we haven't, and we'll go on to the next. All the devices come with this high feature HMI. Just ensure that your version marries up and click on finish. Now your motor starter has been added. All you have to do now is go into the parameters. So in parameters, you can see here it's pulled up three different options. Once we've clicked into parameters, you've got here the soft starter, the HMI, and security. So to actually configure a soft starter, if you drop down that menu, you can see there's a host of different options which you can utilize: asymmetry, ground fault, emergency stop, inputs, outputs, additional parameters, date and time, HMI, and security. But to be honest with you, they're all additional extras. They're not really compulsory in a configuration to how to parameterize a soft starter. What is compulsory is that you fill in one of these parameter sets, whether it's parameter set 1, 2, or 3, or maybe you even have multiple parameter sets. It all depends on your application. Just to give you an idea why they've put in 3 parameter sets, you can run, say, 3 motors off one soft starter, each off different applications, not at the same time, but individually. So you might want an individual parameter set for each application. Another reason would be that you might have a 2-speed dial and a motor. So yeah, I mean, more commonly you would only use one parameter set. So if we click on parameter set 1, as you can see, there's a few different options here. Automatic parameterization is a really quick and easy way to be able to program your soft starter. So you don't actually need to program anything else within the soft starter apart from auto tune, really, in this TIA portal configuration. So what you have to do to access this function is turn that device on, and you've got 2 options: start with a preset time and a current limit, or with just a preset time. So the preset time just gives you an initial value of what your expected time is, and this one gives you the preset time with the current limit function added in there. So if you reach a certain specific current limit threshold, it'll regulate the current until it reaches the full speed. So for this example, what we can do is we can say, oh, we want it to start with a preset time. The operational current of the motor is 4.4. You know, we might say it's 5. And then we want the preset time to be 8 seconds. And once you've filled out that information, you can just go ahead and download that into this soft starter, and that'll give you a complete configuration, and it's as simple as that really. There are other things which you can tweak in here. So you've got motor parameters here. So if you really wanted to, you can finely tune what the service factor is of the motor, what the operational current is, what the rated torque is, the speed perhaps. It automatically detects whether you're connected in star or delta. If you didn't want to use the auto parameterization function, you can go into starting parameters here, and you can really finely tune how you want to adjust those starting parameters. So you can have various different options here: direct, online start, you can have a voltage ramp, a torque control, you can have motor heating, which helps prevent condensation if your motor's in outside. You can have a voltage ramp and a current limit function together, or torque control with current limit. So there's quite a few different options there for the starting mode. Say for example, if you wanted to just ignore the auto parameterization function and have that turned off, you can go into starting mode and say, right, I want a voltage ramp, I want it at 80 seconds, I want the ramp up time to be 6 seconds, and the maximum starting time to be 10 seconds, and you can even have a breakaway voltage if you wish. So that's for more audious loads. So what that'll do is it'll give you 100% of the line voltage if you wish for a specific time frame. So say you can pulse that for up to 2 seconds. So you could have the full line voltage for 2 seconds just to get the moment of inertia of the motor. And then once that 2 seconds is elapsed, it will then drop down to the 80% starting voltage and increment the ramp up time for 6 seconds with a maximum startup time of 10. You can even change the stopping mode if you want to, so you can go for a coast down, a voltage ramp, torque control. For this one we'll go for a voltage ramp, and we want that to voltage ramp down in 6 seconds. And you can even change and have multiple different stops if you want to, but for this we'll go for voltage ramp. The motor protection, again, that's changeable. It's all done within the TIA Soft Starter ES software, and here are the various different options. If you've got a 10-second startup, class 10, 20-second startup, class 20, 30 seconds, class 30. So we'll go for a class 20, and then you can decide how it reacts to that overload condition. See here, there's a drop down. You can turn it off with a restart or turn it off without a restart, and you can decide on how long it takes in the event of an overload that you can initiate your first start again. You can also activate the temperature sensor monitoring in here. You can decide what sensor you have, thermoclick, PTC, and you can decide how it reacts to that. So you can turn it off, or you can send a warning to the HMI. And they're the most important features when you're configuring a motor starter of this ilk. So, I mean, you could go for a really quick and easy way by just going in and switching on the automatic parameterization function right here, or you can fill in these 4 key elements here: motor starter parameters, start settings, stopping mode, and motor protection. So once you've either filled in those 4 parameters or filled in this one parameter, you can then download that into the soft starter, and you'll then have a complete configuration which you can utilize in your motor startup. But just to give you an idea, it really is handy when you're looking at things like going into starting parameters, and then you go to use voltage ramp and current limit. You might decide, oh, okay, I want to gain an idea of what these are, what the starting voltage is, what the current limit is, and to do that, the best way is to use the STS tool. If you haven't heard of the STS tool, it's a simulation tool for soft starters, so it allows you to finely tune your parameters, so it gives you an understanding of what you can set the voltage ramp and the current limit functions to in a simulation. So there's no trial and error on the application in the field. You can gain an understanding of what you need to set those pots to before you start playing around with it in the field. So if you haven't seen that, please tune into one of my other videos, which is explaining the STS tool to you. It is a free download off the Siemens Technical Support website. So I hope you found the video useful. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments box below. Thanks very much for watching and stay tuned for more. Thank you.